Welcome to the Frostgorge Champion Train / Farm Guide. Here you'll see a map of Frostgorge Sound, which is where this champion train farm takes place. You'll need at least 3 of these waypoints, but it's good to have all 4 of them because different trains have different patterns depending on which servers you are and their style that they like to do this, so it's good to have all 4. The general direction of this train is counterclockwise. So as you can see here, as long as you're following this path, basically based on the waypoints, you'll be good to go. Here's the list of champions that you'll be taking out in this train, starting with Fish, Quaggan, Norn, Broodmother, Ice Brood, Quaggan, and the Snow Troll Leader. Here are the locations of those champions on the map, and you will basically be killing these champions in order as they're numbered here, starting with Fish. Then you'll run to the Quaggan, then you'll run to the Norn, which is number 3. Sorry for my mouse movements throughout the video. Then you'll run to number 4, the Wurm, or some trains actually take another waypoint to get there, and that's where you need that 4th waypoint we were talking about earlier. Then you'll head over, you'll waypoint over the Drake, and then you'll waypoint over the Troll, and then you'll waypoint back to number 1, the Fish. However, there is the Quaggan, and he spawns every 2-3, depending on the Zerg size that you're in. It spawns 2 or 3 Drake kills. Some trains get him, but he can be a little out of the way, so some trains skip him altogether. But usually if I'm leading a train, I like to get him. Here you'll see the order of that that we saw earlier, and it lines up with the champions. Here we are at the champion Fish. This champion, as long as you keep your distance, you're good. I don't think it has any ranged abilities. You'll be spawning a Drakkar waypoint for this in the northwest corner of your map. This champion, sometimes you have to wait on him because usually this is where the train starts, and if it's a very big Zerg, you have to wait for, by the time you get around that cycle back to the Fish more than likely might take some time to respawn, so you gotta wait and be patient for a couple minutes. But for example, it's nowhere near as long as waiting on the boar. It's literally only a minute or 2 and it respawns. From here you'll just swim and run to Quaggan. You'll head, it's sort of like a 3 if you look at it for these bosses here. The top point would be the Fish, the middle point would be Quaggan, and the bottom point would be the Norn. The Quaggan spawns right here where we're running, but it patrols a fairly big radius, which is all this area over here that we ran to. But yeah, very easy to spot and find. Sometimes he can also be delayed depending on the size of your train. Then you'll basically head right back in the same direction for the Norn, the champion Norn. This Norn is basically a replica, in my opinion, of the Oakhart in Queensdale. However, this one has that ice slam that hits. Well, I'm a warrior. I'm a DPS warrior, so it hits me for half my health. Not good. So always make sure you're at least above that threshold of half your health bar. Next, we're going to port over to Demotiki waypoint, where the champion Wurm is, and then we'll just swim it. It's deep under. Some trains will actually run this, usually just follow the group. But in case they like to take the waypoint in the train you're in, at least you've got it. On my server, they do not take the waypoint to get to this Wurm. We just run it, but this was done on another server since it's one of the busier ones. And as you can see, sometimes you can get a little early even to the Wurm, but again, that champion Wurm spawns fairly quickly. There it is already. Now I'm with a very huge Zerg in this video, so you want to make sure you are there because these things die fast, as you can see. Even though they're champions, they can't scale to the massive Zergs. Next is the Champion Drake, and that will be at Sky Heights Steading Waypoint, which is the southernmost waypoint of this cycle. You'll then head northwest towards the Champion Drake. This Champion Drake has some devastating abilities if you're very close to it in melee, so have your evasive maneuvers and defensive capabilities ready. For the most part, I just dodge and run away from it and switch to a ranged weapon. That takes care of my problem. Next is Quaggan. Now he only spawns every so often, so if you see his icon, like you can see it on the minimap right there, that orange icon on the right side of the minimap, if you see that on your screen, I usually go after him if I'm leading a raid, or a Zerg I should say. But if I don't see that icon, then you just keep going, and eventually when you come around to drink, that icon will pop up and you go kill the Quaggan. Some servers do not like to kill him. As you can see here, when a few people followed me for the purpose of this video, this specific train actually was skipping him because they didn't want to do this extra run. But I sort of feel like you got a little extra wait time sometimes, so on my server I usually include him in every time he pops. And then again, our Zerg is normally not that big, so it makes it balance out quite evenly, keeping all the bosses spawning by the time you get around to them without having to wait at all. Most trains will skip this Quaggan. Massive Zergs would anyway. I don't know why, but it's the way it is. For that, you just go from Drake to Troll, which you will see as soon as this guy dies. Without a Zerg, this guy takes a little effort, as you can see. So there's a good example, as we were talking about earlier, of just backing out when your health is low, switching to a ranged weapon. On my war, I like to keep, when I'm doing trains, my greatsword and my rifle handy. Here's another video. I restarted at Drake. We haven't gotten to Troll yet, but just to show you that right after you kill Drake, normally the cycle would be to go straight to Troll at Earth Shake Waypoint. I find Troll to be somewhat annoying, especially as a warrior where I do all my damage as melee. But because he has these AoE circles that just sort of freeze you and so forth. Just remember to keep a certain threshold of health so you can escape if you need to. Have a little speed for that jump, as you just saw. I miss it when I run normal speed on any class, except my Ellie, you know, which has a little extra air on it. And yeah, I said he was annoying, not hard. Especially with a Zerg. There's a daily chest here. Make sure you get it. You can only get it once a day. So once you get it, you can't open it for 24 hours. And from here, you'll just head back to Drakar Waypoint and restart the cycle. And that will be the entire train. I hope you enjoyed it. All the best.